Yeah, welcome everybody to our session ABAP Cloud for Extensibility in S/4HANA Public Cloud Edition. I'm happy to be here and hope you have a nice show. So let's get it started. We only have a short amount of time and much content to show. Yeah, this is the title. I should have brought that up. Sorry for that. So let's take a short look at the agenda. So first of all, we'll see what's about the classic ABAP programming in your old ECC or S/4HANA on-premise systems. Some of you might have seen that already in the Alexander session just 1 hour ago. Then we take a look at the extensibility model available in S/4HANA Cloud, and then we take a look at our new ABAP Cloud development model and programming language, which is available for S/4HANA Cloud. So, classic ABAP code, what's it all about? So, probably you know all of that. That's the most common thing as an ABAP developer. You have done your modification, your extensions, your applications in the ECC or S4 systems. You were allowed basically to do everything and everywhere, which was a big achievement for us and a big winning factor for the whole ERP, that it's possible to customize and modify everything you want to have and adopt it to your business process or business process of your company. But of course, this all comes with a bad side, and this is definitely that you could do everything. So this is horrible for upgrade projects, as far as you probably also know. So it's tough if you have thousands of modifications lying around to upgrade to the new innovations. And there we have the challenge that also company gets stuck in their old releases and cannot even do an upgrade anymore, or it's very costly. So, next. So, this means what's coming up next. In the public cloud, of course, it should be clear that the software upgrades of the ERP and the ABAP stack has to be done by us. So, for you, this should be a no event, basically, technology upgrade. So, there are no upgrade projects for you, which is a good thing. But on the other hand, this comes, of course, with a list which one of the most prominent is that no modifications on your objects can be allowed because we have to do the upgrade. If there are changes in our software, this just basically doesn't work. This means your extensions have to be completely separated from our code. And we guarantee on a stable interface that they run. And all this, what I've said, is definitely a mandatory thing for your S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. And as you might have seen in the session beforehand by Alex, for the private cloud and on-premise, it's definitely a recommendation by us, because this will really help you write cloud-ready code, meaning upgrade-stable code, reducing the effort you have to do for upgrade projects in the future. So let's take a look what we have as S/4HANA Cloud extensibility patterns. On the left side, we see the S/4HANA Cloud applications, and on the right side, you see side by side. First of all, and this should be very clear for you, and this was also the first thing which was available for S/4HANA Cloud extensibility, is to create side-by-side applications in the SAP Business Technology Platform. So side-by-side applications are completely loosely coupled to your data on your S4 system and, of course, to your transaction and the logical unit of work as you know it. So if you have formally implemented something a body, so you were directly in the logical of unit of work and in the commits, this is, of course, side-by-side not the case anymore. And, of course, there you have to call remote APIs of your S/4HANA system or consume events which are available. Secondly, we have public local APIs in your S/4HANA Cloud applications available since a year or two, where you can now build on-stack applications which are tightly coupled to your SAP data. So these are calls of local APIs or select statements on your CDS views, for example. And of course, you have the possibility to build and extend applications on the stack using public extension points. So both use cases are possible. First of all, extending SAP applications or creating new applications directly on the stack, if they are tightly coupled. For example, like you have to be in that logical unit of work. So we have these 3 extension patterns available, and of course we have answers for 3 of all of them. So first of all, let's take a look at the personas. So we have, of course, the key user or business expert. So some of you might have heard of the key user extensibility here. So this key user or business expert is normally somebody who's working on the UI itself and not directly in development environment or very experienced to coding. So this is low code, no code. And of course there we have the possibility to adopt applications like changing something on the UI, adding some fields or something like that. And of course, this cannot be all from an extensibility point of view. You have to have more extensibility possibilities. And for that, we have the persona of a developer, which is using the IDE of this, in our case, the ABAP tools in Eclipse. And here you can then write your ABAP code, of course, with some restrictions in your S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. We will see how that looks like just some slides later. Then we have the portfolio, what we offer. Of course, for the key user and the business object, we have for on-stack extensions, the S/4HANA Cloud key user tools. And here, so this means that we have here the key user tools for the business experts. And on the other side, we have the side-by-side extensions where you can apply or use the sub-build solutions which are available. For the developer, we have, of course, the S/4HANA Cloud ABAP environment where you can code ABAP Cloud on stack using ABAP tools in Eclipse. Or of course for the side-by-side applications we have the things available in SAP BTP, like you can use Java, you can use Node.js, or of course you can use ABAP environment. Just referring here to on the keynote announced BTP developer guide for the side-by-side applications, please take a look here. It's also linked in the slides. So, and for all the things you see bold here, business or on-stack stuff, of course, and the ABAP environment as side-by-side, the ABAP programming model is using ABAP Cloud and applying ABAP Cloud for all of this. This ABAP Cloud gives you the cloud-ready environment to build ABAP applications for the future in the cloud and even on-premise. Just a little overview again about the extensibility options here. As I said, here we have the S/4HANA system with public interfaces for S/4HANA content like sales orders or products, etc. And we have the ABAP environment underneath it, bringing you the technology and the reuse layer, for example, like application jobs, factory calendar, etc. And here you can build your applications on stack if you need them, for example, tightly coupled. On the other hand, we have the SAP BTP here, where you can build side-by-side applications, for example, with the SAP Business Technology Platform, ABAP environment. I really hate this long product name, sorry to say that. So most of you know this one as Steampunk, which is our internal project name for it. And here you can build then your side-by-side application, using ABAP Cloud. So, a short overview. I will not explain that in detail, but it's very useful because this question always comes up. How do I find the right extensibility options? What should I use here? So first of all, we have provided you with this, and there are basic questions which brings you to side-by-side applications or on-stack. For example, if your users of your applications are not all in your S4 systems or mostly not available in the S4 systems or should not have access to your ERP system, a side-by-side extension is a very good option. Of course, on the other hand, what I already said is if you have the challenge that your applications need to run, for example, in the same logical unit of work as, for example, the sales order processing, and you implement a body there, then of course there's a really challenge to do this side by side. So you have to do this on stack and use the ABAP Cloud Developer Extensibility or the key user extensibility. So it all comes down, but take a look at that, and maybe this helps you getting a first better glimpse of where to build your application. So, but now finally to my beloved topic here, ABAP Cloud. So ABAP Cloud as the development model and for building cloud-ready business applications, services, extensions with your ABAP knowledge in stack or side by side. It's definitely our go-to and golden path for developing ABAP now and in the future. It's available on SAP BTP and of course on S4HANA Public Cloud Edition, which is the focus for this session, but also of course for private cloud and the S4HANA on-premise thing since 2022 release. And as stated, it works for all those editions on-premise and also in the cloud editions. So, and this is exactly shown here a little bit better in that slide. So the ABAP Cloud development model is the same development model in all the products which apply ABAP. And here only the classic ABAP development is available in your any on-premise system and private edition. But definitely ABAP Cloud development model is now the recommendation to apply it. In S4HANA Public Cloud, of course, you do not have any chance here. We have it mandatory. So just looking again at that picture, so ABAP Cloud development model, both available on stack and side by side. Of course, on the side by side, you only have the public interface to directly code on the ABAP technology and reuse platform. On stack, you have additionally the public interfaces and APIs of the S4HANA stack, which of course have the rich business focus, like as mentioned, sales order, purchase order, products, all the stuff you know from the S4. Sorry, I only know those overview things. I'm the ABAP platform guy, so I was happy to once create a sales order, but that's fine for me. I'm more the technology guy. But of course here, this really helps you building the business applications, and we offer here the reuse services and the language and the technology. So ABAP Cloud, what does it mean? And what's the terminology when we talk about what's the content of it? Of course, the ABAP Cloud is there as a programming and development model to build transactional applications, of course, with our well-famous RESTful ABAP programming model. It's there to build analytical applications which are available, and of course integration services with all the protocols you probably know, like SOAP, RFC, OData, HTTP. And it contains, of course, it's not only the language and not only the programming model, but of course completely integrated and stable reuse services and libraries, as you know them from the classic ABAP, which really supports you building the real business application and lets you focus on that. It comes with all the classical built-in qualities like enterprise readiness, robustness, you know from the ABAP platform, but of course applies modern cloud elasticity, sorry for that, I got stuck in this German, and of course scalability and the cloud qualities which comes with it. Of course it comes with a proven lifecycle management, also in introducing Git, and of course with a set of tools applying ABAP Cloud, like the ABAP development tools in Eclipse for developers and the key user tools embedded in your Fiori. So, evolution of ABAP Cloud. So ABAP Cloud was not SAC, we invented it and that's it. So it comes from a long timeline, and we started, of course, with the ABAP development tools in Eclipse. Beforehand, there were innovations like the internet, for example, or internal tables with no header lines, which also brought us to the place where we now with ABAP Cloud. We have the product SAP S4HANA launched in 2015, which was a major milestone where we adopted to support SAP HANA, the Fiori design, and introduced the key user extensibility. Then in 2018, we finally brought out in SAP BTP the ABAP environment. We're very proud of that, where we introduced this cloud-ready extension of the ABAP language scope and the ABAP RESTful application programming model, which really helps you to build cloud-ready applications. And all that then came that we introduced this SAP BTP ABAP environment programming to SAP S4HANA Cloud, where you can now also apply this and extend SAP S4HANA Cloud Public Edition with ABAP Cloud and really with development extensions, which is a really huge step we've taken to bring more possibilities to the S4HANA Cloud Public Edition. And all of that together is then our ABAP Cloud programming model, which brings all that features and possibilities together. Yeah. we should switch to the next slide. Let's take a short look at how that looks in a class implementing that. So for example, you see here already some syntax error. You see here, of course, using classes and not reports anymore. So reports are not supported in ABAP Cloud. Also SAP GUI is not supported anymore. It's now creating services on your ABAP layer. For example, OData services and putting UI5 or Fiori elements on top of it. And for example, here a call function pop-up to confirm would not help if you are in a browser-based Fiori UI. This is just not allowed and gives you a syntax error. Also, access directly to SAP tables is not a good idea anymore because we need to keep those things stable. And if we would let you access tables, this would get us in trouble when we need to extend or change something. Thus, we really recommend here to use, for example, not the Mara, but the replacement objects, which is in that case the CDS view iProduct. And of course, as you see here, that would be then the correct select of it. Instead of select from Mara, you would now write a select from iProduct with the fields you need and the information into your thing. So just to give you a short glimpse how that looks like, of course, classic ABAP not anymore possible, but here this one really helps you write code on stable APIs with ABAP Cloud. Just let me summarize everything here. So first of all, you have the ABAP Extensibility for SAP S4HANA editions, which is crucial for the success of your applications and your business processes, that you are able to extend SAP applications and processes directly on stack or, of course, side by side if they are decoupled. We provide you this, as said, on stack and side by side. We support it for key users and also for developers. And of course, we all recommend it in all modern editions of S4HANA or ABAP-based products to use the ABAP Cloud development model for your extensions. And as said, in your public cloud, you anyway have no other choice to apply this. So, and ABAP Cloud is really the development model and has a bright future for us and for you as ABAP developer. And with that, thank you everybody, and I would switch over to the Q&As. Live Q&A. And back again. So, I see my colleagues on the moderation platform are probably very busy and have answered already many questions. So let me start with the first one with the most votes. So are there plans to enable BAS, Business Application Studio, for ABAP Cloud development? Currently, there are no direct plans. At the moment, ABAP tools in Eclipse, our development tools in Eclipse is the development environment of choice. But let's see for the future, you never know. But for now, this is definitely the target. Still, ADT is our development platform of choice. And if you take some questions in the ABAP community, we still have tons of people working on the SE80. So going to ABAP development tools in Eclipse is still the way to go and highly recommended. And ABAP development tools in Eclipse are IDT is still our flagship and way to go. So next one, we have no votes here, but second one is, what is the idea of choice? Eclipse, I think we've already answered that one with the question beforehand. Next one is, how is configuration, oops, my question just jumped somewhere. How is configuration customizing realized in ABAP Cloud? Is there something similar to the old table maintenance generator? So yes, there is something little bit similar. We're also working on improving. So there is a possibility to create Fiori-based customizing UIs, and there's also a bracket for it, own tile where you can sum all these customizing UIs. So you can create your customizing table, then generate your customizing application using the RESTful ABAP programming model, a special wizard for it on top of it, and then you are good to go to use that. It's generated with Fiori elements, so no need for UI development, only if you want or need to adopt it. Next, buzz we had. Can I don't think I can click that on answer. How to find the best CDS view for changing MySQL from the table. So here we have the API Hub, or nowadays called Business Accelerator Hub, where you switch to the S4HANA tab on top of it, and then you will find all the available CDS views documented. You can also search on that. api.sap.com, this should lead you there. Can we use table like echo KNA1 ether rather than, where is my question gone? Rather than CDS views for development in ADT Eclipse? Sorry, these questions are always jumping around. So can we use tables like echo, KNA, etc. rather than CDS views for development in Eclipse, S4HANA Public Cloud? So no, you cannot use the tables directly. No tables are released as stable APIs. All tables or table data you need to access are wrapped by the CDS views, commonly known as the virtual data model, which is, as I said, available and visible to search for in the API Hub or directly in your development tool. So we cannot release tables here. Where can we get the same hoodie you have it? It's awesome. Thank you for that. I think it was available in the SAP store. I'm not sure if it's still available. So this was during the celebration of 50 years ABAP. Not ABAP, sorry, SAP. Yeah. I hope I still be there to celebrate, of course, the 50 years of ABAP. In S4 Private Cloud, Tier 2 option can be used to expose non-released standard CDS view. Any place to make this available in public cloud? So no, we cannot make the 3-tier model available in public cloud because we SAP are completely responsible to do the upgrade, and we cannot do an upgrade in a pure public cloud project step by step for each customer and start upgrade project. So this is something we have to do automated, thousands and thousands of systems at the same time. Thus, we can only allow released API, CDS views, etc. If there is something missing which you need for your process or your application you want to build, we recommend to create a custom CI request, customer innovation request, using the platform here to request this API or CDS view or functionality in the S4HANA public cloud. It's just heard you say no more SAP GUI in SAP Cloud. What is the user interface in SAP Cloud? Is this Fiori or Web GUI? It's definitely Fiori. So in ABAP Cloud, you create your services, whether it be OData services, REST normal HTTP REST services, or SOAP services, and consume them with a front end of your choice. Of course, we as SAP are completely integrated and work tightly together with the Fiori Elements colleagues or of course, SAP UI5. Thus, SAP Fiori Elements is the really recommended way to go for, first of all, for standard applications. If this is not enough, of course, then use UI5 or Fiori, classic Fiori for that. And now we go to the last questions. What is SAP's plan for replacing classical enhancement bodies, customer functions, e.g. user exits, not only for public cloud, but also for private cloud? So the general is bodies are the way to go to extend business processes of SAP, and RAP is the way to go to build your own applications for transactional cases, and the analytical ABAP Cloud development model to build analytical things and services. So no customer functions anymore, no classical user exits. This is all targeted for bodies in that case. And with that, I'm running out of time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me. Have a great TechEd still and nice weekend. Bye-bye.